From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. Our top story, the Fbx North Star Borough School Board last night finalized its budget for the next fiscal year. As expected, the board's action reduces the original proposal by $11 million and cuts about 60 jobs. A large portion of the cuts were made in programs like music and arts. The board did ask the Fbx North Star Borough to restore $7 million with property tax money. Now, there was discussion during the meeting about implementing salary freezes for district employees. No action was taken on that issue last night, but it could come up later.
That there wasn't an amendment made or any action taken, but I think that it's very real for the community to be aware that this may potentially be something that's on the table when we finalize our budget in late May or early June when we know our revenue. This has been an extremely difficult budget.
Action by the state Senate yesterday could result in even more problems for school districts. A bill to suspend the state's program that helps local municipalities pay for school construction bonds was approved. It will remain in effect for 5 years. Some lawmakers say the state can't afford to continue such payments at the time.
The state is facing a revenue shortfall that none have seen. $3.5 billion is due from the State of Alaska savings account by June 30th of this year. Current oil prices, Brent is today around $55 a barrel. In looking at FY16's budget, we need $66 a barrel to only draw another $3.5 billion, that's with a B, from savings.
Air Force officials are asking for feedback from Interior residents about the possible addition of F-35 fighter jets to Eielson Air Force Base. Air Force personnel hosted the second public scoping meeting yesterday in Fairbanks, and another meeting is scheduled for tonight in Delta Junction. The discussions are the first steps for an environmental impact statement that studies how F-35s could affect Eielson and the communities surrounding the base. Anyone interested in commenting to the Air Force about F-35s at Eielson can still do so online and by mail. Fairbanks City and Borough mayors both say they are hopeful the fighter jets will be stationed in the interior.
This is a huge, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for this community. From the studies I've seen, if we keep the F-16s and get the F-35s, you're talking about in the range of $2 billion a year. For up to 40 years possibly, these aircraft.
The purpose of this is to make sure the Air Force knows what we think is available so they can put that into the EIS. If we don't say anything, then they have to dig out this stuff themselves, and I don't want them to miss anything.
A Fairbanks man on trial for an alleged multi-state drug conspiracy has been convicted. According to a release, a jury in federal court found 42-year-old Etienne DeVoe guilty of conspiracy to distribute cocaine and heroin, as well as conspiracy to money launder. During the trial, the prosecution alleged DeVoe was a drug dealer in 2013 here in Fairbanks. They said numerous texts and phone calls were recorded between him and his co-conspirators about their ongoing drug trafficking relationship. Evidence presented at trial showed that investigators found items used in the trafficking operation after they responded to a shooting at DeVoe's rental home on Gillum Way. DeVoe is scheduled to be sentenced in June. A Superior Court judge denied a plea deal for a Hooslia man charged in a New Year's Day brawl that severely injured a male victim. Aaron Kozebnikov Jr. was set to plead guilty to reduced charges that included criminal mischief, assault, and harassment. According to court documents, Kozebnikov and another man attacked the victim outside of the tribal hall during a New Year's celebration. The defense alleged the victim was brandishing a machine gun at the time of the attack and was shooting at Hooslia residents. After hearing Kozebnikov would be released from custody due to time served, the judge denied the deal based upon comments made by the defendant in connection with the death of 2 Alaska State troopers.
As for the assault and Mr. Roberts' conduct, that's one thing. But there is no consideration for going on the airwaves and, as alleged, crying out to the whole community that I am from Tanana, we kill troopers. If that indeed happened, this agreement is inadequate.
All right, when we come back today, the Fairbanks community recognized the problem of domestic violence with a rally in Fairbanks. Also coming up, it's time for another edition of Fairbanks Flavor, our favorite tonight's recipe, risotto and mushrooms. These stories and more when we return. Welcome back. Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives pushed through a budget yesterday that increased defense spending and achieves balance in a decade. The House plan passed by a 228 to 199 vote and was supported by Alaska Congressman Don Young. Today on Capitol Hill, Senate Republicans advanced a 10-year budget blueprint towards the approval. The plan erases deficits through trillions in spending cuts and includes a repeal of the nation's health care law. Senators took part in a ritual known as Vote-A-Rama, where several amendments are read. Senator Lisa Murkowski offered a pair of changes. One would fund an Arctic icebreaker, while the other would allow transfer of federal lands to state and local governments in the name of natural resource development.
The energy revolution, renewable and petroleum in this country, has been on state and private lands. That's a fact. So, Mr. President, I have filed an amendment that would complement language that is already in the resolution by focusing on sales, transfers, or exchanges of land with state or local governments.
A startling statistic from the Interior Alaska Center for Nonviolent Living is that 1 in 5 women in the lower 48 have been raped at some time, while in Alaska, that number climbs to 1 in 3. And those are just reported rapes. Today at the Westmark Hotel, those facts and sobering numbers were the focus of a Choose Respect rally. Borough Mayor Luke Hopkins told the audience that more problems were needed to tackle the problem. City Mayor Eberhardt agreed and said the numbers were just staggering. He added that the police are ever alert to the crisis. Tanana Chiefs Representative Will Mayo concurred and expressed that the problem in rural areas is of epidemic proportions. Coordinators for the event were pleased with the turnout and hope that solutions can be found.
It's scary words. Am I a victim? Am I an abuser? What does that mean? What does it mean if I talk about it? And by coming together as a community in a formal setting like this, but basically informal, talking about choosing respect, and really talking about what can we do as a community to prevent this from happening. We need to get in front of it.
Today it was really great to see people talk about it in a way that's a little bit more positive. What can we do? How can the average person get involved in preventing and stopping violence before it escalates to the point of violence?
All right, it's time once again to join Lisa Gambardella in her kitchen for another edition of Fairbanks Flavor. What's on the menu tonight? Chicken risotto and portobello mushrooms.
Buongiorno!
Buonasera. Welcome to Gambardella's Pasta Bella. I'm Lisa Gambardella at Gambardella's Pasta Bella downtown. And Gary Malone, what are we making today?
Today we're making chicken risotto.
Ooh, that looks good.
With portobello mushrooms. I got some caramelized onions cooking there.
Nice. How long has this been cooking for?
20 minutes.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to add this nice little pearl rice in there. You ready?
Excellent.
Woo!
Nice.
There we go.
Add some chicken stock. We don't want it to dry out. You constantly want to keep it moist and liquidy.
Look at that go. All right,
wow,
Gary.
that smells dynamite, that garlic. Wow.
Shake it up, Gary. Come on, get it going.
Nice. Shake it up, baby.
All right, how long does that need to cook for?
20 minutes.
Oh, let's switch. All right, switch it up, fast forward. Woo, we got some delicious risotto right here. And I've got some portobello mushrooms.
Wow, that smells dynamite. Like it always does in Gambardella's every day.
All right, let's get this on a plate. There you go.
Excellent.
Very nice. One more scoop of that.
Dynamite.
All right, let's top it with this baby right here.
Wow, does that look great?
Okay, give me a spoon, Malone.
There you go.
All right.
Wow, does that smell good?
Woo! Make it at home or come to Gambardella's and we'll make it for you. Get your fat tire on tap right there.
Some nice, beautiful grated cheese.
Very nice. Hey, get your beer.
Dynamite.
Salute. See our recipes at webcenter11.com.
Brought to you by Gambardella's Pasta Bella.
I liked the additional flair of the flames. That always looks so good. All right, well, continuing in sports, Mike Fussell stepping in for Joe Cook. He'll have a preview of all your sports action, so come on back.
And welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Mike Fussell here to get you caught up on the latest local action. First, we'll take a look at some high school soccer. And at the West Valley High School, soccer teams are already getting ready for the spring season. Practices are in full swing as coaches are focusing on the fundamentals of the game and conditioning. The boys are already getting some matches under their belt as they head down to play in Anchorage earlier today. The Wolfpack took on the Colony Knights in the Dome. The matchup was scoreless for most of the game, but Colony would end up slipping 2 shots past the Pack's keeper. The Knights ended up on top with a 2-0 win over West Valley. The Wolfpack boys will play Wasilla in the Dome tomorrow, and head coach Howard Maxwell says it's important for the team to get into a competitive mindset early in the season.
We're one of the only teams that does this. We go down, we get a couple games in the Dome, gets a chance to get out there on the big pitch and take a look. I expect to have really competitive matches. Both teams are playing our quality teams. Colony, the first team we're playing, won state last year. So it's a good challenge for us, and we'll know, it'll be a good marker to see where we're at.
And the Fairbanks Ice Dogs are taking on the Brown Bears from Kenai River this weekend, and that will be the last game, the last series of the season for them. The KTVF sports team was there taking a look as they got ready for the final matchup.
The Raven Cup is coming to a close this weekend at the Big Dipper as the Ice Dogs and the Kenai River Brown Bears face off tomorrow. Fairbanks leads the series 12-2 and is in the hunt for a big win to secure home ice in postseason play. The Dogs will also need a loss from the Minnesota Wilderness, who tie Fairbanks in points at 80. They will be playing a 3-game series against Cooley Region this weekend. The Ice Dogs practiced Monday through Thursday this week after a tough 3-2 loss to Kenai last Saturday at the Soldotna Sports Center. Assistant coach Paul Kirkland says this last week of regular season play will be a true test for the Dogs.
You know, Kenai's playing for pride, and they're probably playing the hardest they've played all year, and it's tough for our guys to get up for a game like that, but it's not an excuse.
This weekend, look out for Hans Gorowski, Ethan Samoza, and Jesper Orval. They have been the top scorers against the Brown Bears this season. Veteran Ice Dog wing Lonnie Clary has also been a major contributor for Fairbanks. He says the struggles the team faces late in the season, such as injuries, are just a part of the game.
But I mean, that's adversity. We got to deal with it, and it's going to be a good test. I mean, we got Kenai who's coming in there, and they want nothing more than to ruin our first place spot and maybe not have the home series throughout the whole playoffs. But it's just adversity. We got to deal with it, and then we got to make sure to bring the energy and make sure that we're taking each game one step at a time, one period at a time, to make sure we seal the deal.
Coach Kirkland says the mental and physical state of the team are getting closer to where they need to be for postseason play.
After last weekend, I'd say no, we weren't peaking there. You know, we got a couple guys that got some minor injuries, but they'll be okay for playoffs. I think that weekend off after this weekend will be good for us to get a little healthy. But we feel good about where we're at. Like we told the guys yesterday, we believe in them. We think we can make a run at this again, and they've got to believe in themselves.
The puck drops to kick things off at the Big Dipper on Friday at 7:30.
And interior runners are going to be gearing up to hit the road as the weather starts to get a bit nicer. The upcoming weeks are full of great competitions. The Eldorado Hill Challenge will have racers pushing themselves to see who can cover the most ground in an hour's time out and back. That race is this weekend. The 21st annual Beat Beethoven 5K is coming up on April 11th. Runners will try to cross the finish line in front of the Patty Center before the Fairbanks Symphony Orchestra completes the last note of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. And the 34th annual Chena River Run is a bit later in the month of April. The 5K race spans from Wood River Elementary to the Princess Hotel. And Sweet 16 play is now underway in our KTVF College Hoops Challenge. Head to webcenter11.com to see if your bracket is still alive and well. The action is only going to get more exciting as the stakes get bigger. Take a look at the screen now to see if you're in the top. Our top contestant has picked just under 80% of the games correct so far. Check the competition standings to see how far you are from the #1 spot. You may be closer to winning than you think. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is your full weather forecast coming up next. We'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our Thursday night news. Now it's time to take a look at the weather. Mike Schultz with you once again, and another great day. We are getting these magnificent days. I'm getting lots of folks smiling all around me, trying to give me credit, but I will not take credit for the weather. I never do. I'm just the messenger, and it's nice to be able to send a good message saying that the weather is going to continue the way it is. Guess what they were doing today at Creamer's Field? They're getting ready for the geese to come in. You can see here, Diana LeCorkchick was able to capture some of the activity going on over there. As you can see, the big old plow clearing out the area they're going to put the seeds down tomorrow, I think, and then the geese should be coming in very shortly. So don't be surprised to see some geese this weekend, maybe, the way things are going. Again, as always, if you have a photograph, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Here's your numbers. 48 degrees. We have tied the record high for the day. The low 10 degrees. There's your record, 1970, 48 degrees. The record low 35 below in 1925. Sunrise and sunset over 13 hours of daylight. 13 hours and 2 minutes to be exact, and a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. And an update for you on the Nenana Ice Classic. The ice thickness has dropped a couple inches down to 37 inches, and temperatures are expected to be in the low 50s into the weekend. That'll mean more melting. It'll be interesting to see how long this lasts, really. All right, let's go ahead and look at our satellite and radar. You can see most of the moisture, once again, south of the Alaska Range, some scattered showers here and there. Then the high clouds moving across the Alaska Range. But everything is, once again, moving out of the south. That's what's bringing the warm temperatures in. And that's expected to continue through the weekend, although it may turn a little more southeasterly, which means not quite as warm, but still above normal for this time of year. What else is going on across the rest of the state? Well, rain once again across southeast Alaska. Juneau and Ketchikan both reporting rain. Showers around the Kodiak region. Some scattered showers in the Anchorage Bowl also. And some showers over the southwest portion of the state. 18 degrees in Nome, 1 above in Barrow. How about that? And Fort Yukon, 30 above. Very nice. Lower 48 weather, things have calmed down considerably since last night. We were talking about the severe weather over the deep south that moved through, and it did bring tornadoes to Oklahoma and Arkansas. 1 fatality, unfortunately. But all the serious weather has moved on into the Gulf of Mexico, so things not so bad. Temperatures once again very hot, 79 degrees in San Francisco, and the 90s around Los Angeles, and not too bad at Denver. A little cool around Minneapolis, 36 there. Chicago at 42 degrees. And over the northeast, some scattered showers in the New York area, only 57 there. While showers are expected across the Miami, Florida area. You would expect that this time of year. What's going on as far as the satellite and radar? That's the storminess that moved through rapidly last night, and it is now, like I said, in the Gulf of Mexico. Some trailing pockets of moisture coming in behind it, but nothing severe expected there. And there's the big high pressure area sitting over the west coast, expected to continue to bring a lot of warm air. As you can see here, look at the warm air all over the western half and then spreading eastward with some showers over the northern plains and some showers over the northeast. All right, back to Alaska now. Here's what it looks like for the forecast for tomorrow. For mostly cloudy skies for Barrow, mostly sunny skies for Nome, but increasing clouds in the Fort Yukon area, but still 32 degrees above, not too bad. And as far as the interior, we're looking at mostly sunny skies for Fairbanks, increasing clouds for Healy and Delta, and maybe a few gusty winds here and there. Over the southeastern sections, that's where the wet weather is going to be. Showers across the region for Juneau and Ketchikan. Well, out to the southwest, we're looking at rain likely for Cold Bay. Rain becomes showers in Kodiak and isolated morning snow showers for Bethel. And over the south central regions, a mixed bag of weather once again. Rain showers at Anchorage and Homer. Rain and snow in Valdez. Okay, time once again for our kids' weather. All this week, we're talking with the kids from the Northern Lights Academy. And as you can see here, we're having the teacher tonight with an interesting weather fact.
I'm Miss Janice, and this is my class here at Northern Lights Academy. And we have an interesting weather fact to share with you. Boys, did you know that there is a forest ranger in Virginia who has been struck by lightning 7 times in the last 35 years? And he's not been injured seriously. Wow.
Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. And tomorrow night, actually next week, we'll be visiting with the kids from Ann Ween Elementary School. And it's Thursday night, which means it's time for our road conditions. Oh, well, I guess we're going to back up on those. The road conditions will, for the most part, they're getting a lot better. Look out for some slick spots at the higher elevations, and then also maybe some winds, like I said in the passes. Other than that, things are looking real good and roads are drying out very nicely. Okay, our forecast for tonight, clear skies once again. The overnight low right around 10 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast, 51 degrees. Lots of sunshine, even warmer than it was today. And the extended forecast calling right around 50 degrees over the weekend, with daytime highs dropping down a little bit toward the end of the 5-day period there. Overnight lows also, once again, very nice for this time of year, right around 20 degrees, and no precipitation in the forecast. No rain and none of that snow, that's for sure, not with those temperatures.
That is shorts and t-shirt weather, my fellas.
Well, about that, but especially for him coming from Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it feels amazing, but my car is definitely ready for a good wash right now.
Yes, I think
Don't
maybe
do it
next
yet.
weekend might be a good time for the schools to get together and start getting their car washes going because things look really great.
All right, well, thanks, Mike, and thanks, Mike. Mike Squared here.
Hey.
And we've run out of time, so thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Good night.